Hey everyone, welcome back to the Center Car Care YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the standard operating procedures for the exterior wash process as suggested by the International Detailing Association, the IDA. So this first step is going to be going through a vehicle inspection. So we're going to be walking around the car, you're writing down on a piece of paper any kind of scratches, dings, dents. Also, if there's any tar, sap, bug splatter, anything that's going to need special attention on the vehicle. One, to remind you, and two, if you'd like, you can have a customer sign off on this to reduce some of the liability on yourself in case there was something like a scratch or something on the car that the customer said you caused. It's a good way to prevent something like that. So a quick tip when doing the vehicle inspection here, something I learned from my rental car days, it's called a trunk to trunk. So you start with the trunk open and you're gonna go around and you're gonna check each corner of the vehicle and look down the side of it. It's gonna help you see scratches, dents, things like that. Mostly dents from looking at this angle, and then as you walk down the side, you'll notice scratches. So we'll start at one corner, gonna walk around to another one, look down the same angle, look down the side this way, this corner, gonna walk back around the side, check this corner, and then once you've completed that walk around, you shut the trunk, and it's kind of like your measure of, okay, I've circled the whole vehicle. Obviously check the roof, check the tops of the surfaces, but that's how the rental car industry checks for damage, and they're pretty thorough about that. So try out that. It can shorten up your process a little bit. It can have some standardization to it. That way you aren't missing a spot. And then you can go through, as you see on this one, there's a dent on the roof on JC's car. He takes good care of it, but we did find a dent. So you're gonna wanna have your customer, get up to them. You want them to sign off on something like that. I didn't do it, that was already there.
I'm sure.
So now you have some accountability to show that, hey, I didn't cause this dent. So don't come after me for washing your car. All right, so after the vehicle inspection, now it's on to step 2, which is gonna be a pre-soak and then a rinse. So for that, we have a pre-soak loaded into our foam cannon here. We put 2 ounces of this 640 ounce pre-soak into the foam cannon. That's concentrated, so we diluted that. Now we're gonna put that onto the vehicle, allow that to break down those soils. So that way, when we go for a contact wash, you're not just rubbing against hard soil that hasn't been emulsified at all. So here we go. So give it about 3 minutes to dwell, and then we're gonna rinse off all that pre-soak, all the dirt that it's been able to emulsify. All right, so third and fourth steps are going to be to find any bug splatters, tar, sap, anything like that, and treat them with a chemical first before we do a contact wash. So as you can see right here, there's a bug splatter here. We're just gonna take some all-purpose cleaner, spray that on there. All-purpose cleaner has a high pH to it, so it should be able to go in, break up those bug guts before we touch with any kind of wash mitt. That way we don't take any chances of having like a hard exoskeleton on a bug that's scratching the paint. So give that a quick second to break down, then we're gonna rinse that. I noticed that all-purpose cleaner also broke down any kind of like carnauba waxes or something like that too. So we're gonna have to re-protect that area where we clean the bug splatter with the chemical decontamination. We don't have tar or sap on this vehicle, so we're gonna skip the fourth step and we're gonna jump right into the contact wash. And the fifth step now is gonna be cleaning the wheel area. So it's talking rims, tires, even the wheel arches here in the wheel wells. So we're gonna go through, spray that down with the iron remover, give it a moment to dwell, break down all of the ferrous metals that are from the brake dust on the rim here. I'm gonna go over the tire. And then I'm gonna take some all-purpose cleaner here. I'm gonna spray that in the wheel wells. Start breaking down the soils that are flung up in there by the tires. Next, we're gonna go through brushing each tire, making sure you're breaking down the soils on it, any kind of old tire dressings. Now we'll use a barrel brush to get in between the spokes and the inner barrels of the rim. So yes, we're using an iron remover here, so you'll notice it turns orange where there's noticing ferrous metals. So it's able to go in, break up those ferrous metals, release them so they can be washed away. Then to get deep inside the lug nuts here, he's got a smaller brush. It's able to go in, break loose those particles. So the sixth step is going to be a contact wash. Two ways of doing it. You can do a 2-bucket wash method where you have soap in one bucket, rinse in another, go around with a wash mitt and apply the soap that way. Or you could do it with a foam cannon, get all the soap on the vehicle, then go around with a wet wash mitt and scrub that in, rinsing it periodically to make sure you don't have any contaminants on the towel. We're going to do it the foam cannon way because we did pre-soak the vehicle, so most of the soil is off the vehicle now, but we're just going to go through and make it perfect. We're going to make sure when we're doing this, cover every square inch of the car. Make sure you're doing the hidden areas like under a fender lip or in the gas hatch area, underneath the spoiler. Make sure you're getting into every nook and cranny, and that way there's no missed spots. The proper way of doing this is to go from the top down. And the reason for that is the most soiling is going to be on the lower side of the vehicle. So you're going to keep your mitt the cleanest and least chances of transferring dirt from the most soiled spot up to the cleanest spot. We're going to start up on the roof and we're going to work our way down to the most soiled areas of the vehicle. All right, now step 7, they have clean the door jambs. So if this door jambs really aren't that dirty, so we could kind of skip this until we do the drying step. But if you had really filthy door jambs, now would be a good time. Go through. If you want to see how to clean a door jamb that's super dirty, we did a video on it a few weeks ago. We'll link that down in the description below. But for this case, just for the sake of doing it in the steps, we're just going to spray a little speed bead. This has a carnauba wax, but it also has some surfactants to be able to clean some light dirt. We'll wipe these things down. Not just your driver's door, but you're gonna go around obviously all the doors and the gas hatch on the other side, the back trunk. That's where a lot of dirt builds up. So go around, wipe those out, make sure they're clean at this point. They don't necessarily have to be sparkling dry because we're gonna go through and dry the vehicle in a moment. All right, now steps 8, 9, and 10 are pretty similar. You wanna go through, and if you still have bug guts or anything on the vehicle, now's a good time to get those completely off. If you have iron on the vehicle, now's a good time to spray that down with an iron mover, a clay bar, do whatever you need to do to get the iron off the car. If you have hard water spots, now's a good time to go and treat those because we have the vehicle clean of all the dirt and contaminants that would make you scratch the vehicle if you didn't have those off in the first place. So that's 8, 9, 10 out of the way. 11 is gonna be to dry the vehicle. So we're gonna go through with a blower here, blow dry the vehicle as best we can with this, and then we're gonna go through with a towel, wipe down all the spots we missed, make sure the vehicle's nice and clean. All right, so we dried it off with a blow dryer. Now we're gonna do a towel dry, just make sure it's thoroughly cleaned. The IDA just says dry the vehicle. It doesn't specify which way you wanna do it. So if you wanna use a blower, if you wanna use a towel, up to you. They don't specify exactly which way is better. So up to your discretion on that. All right, so the final step of this process is gonna be to touch up the glass and do a final inspection of the vehicle. So when you're doing the final inspection, sometimes you'll notice some things that maybe you didn't see because the vehicle was dirty. For instance, on this one, down on this rocker panel, we noticed there's some scratching here. So it's really important you do that final inspection pretty thoroughly, especially if the vehicle is dirty, and explain that to the customer. Look, the vehicle's dirty. It's gonna be kind of hard to see every imperfection here. But something like that, obviously we could buff that out, but if it was something worse, the customer would be saying, hey, you're responsible for fixing that for me. So make sure you're doing that first step super thoroughly. Walk it around at the end with the customer then, show them the final product. One, it adds value to what you're doing because they can see, wow, all the details that you did here. Two, it helps you enjoy the work a little bit more when you're going through, enjoying all that hard work and see it come to fruition in a nice, clean car. So that's all there is for this one. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.